What's going on? It's your boy Miles Cunningham, and I'm here with Dutch, the author of Razorblade Romance. He's here today to put y'all on to some game. This book is really thorough. This guy put some work into this, and I just wanted to give him the spotlight so he could really show off his work because he really put some work into this, man. And I had a chance to go through the book, and it's some fire game, it's some heavy game. So Dutch, introduce yourself. Tell the people what's going on.
Hey, what's up? I'm Dutch. People better know me as Mark Shamwell. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I work as a government contractor.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. All right.
I've been through some things, and I wrote a book to help other men better master social dynamics within sexual intimacy or even social intimacy with women.
Right. Okay. That's what's up. So I understand you have a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yeah, my YouTube channel is called Travel and Bang.
Travel and Bang.
Travel and Bang, and definitely check it out. Show me some love. Subscribe. Definitely have some dope material I'll be putting out there. So.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, everybody, the link is in the chat, so check it out real quick. You know, my man, he got his YouTube channel called Travel and Bang, so check that out. And then, and let's see the book again. Let's see the book because we're here to talk about the book. Yeah. All right. So that's Razorblade Romance. We also got the Amazon link if y'all want to go check it out real quick. The book, like I said, guys, the book is thorough, man. This guy he's going through so many different types of games, so many different topics. And what's really cool about the book is that every section, like every different topic has like a breakdown. You understand? It has a breakdown and an analysis. And he also goes through like different scenarios with dialogue, because a lot of times guys don't know what to say in certain situations. And he actually breaks down alternative results and alternative outcomes with different kinds of dialogues and with different kinds of scenarios. And I think that's really, really fire. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times guys, they've never even been in the situation, so they don't even know how things or can expect how things can play out. So they're nervous. They don't know what to say. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that is very, important as far as having, a resource to refer to, you understand, in order to able to help guys, better understand the scenarios, understand situations to make things happen with these chicks and anything else that's going on in life. But Dutch, I want to give you a chance to you said you've been through some things and this and that. So kind of take us through, who you are and, what puts you in a position to actually even write a book like this.
All right. Yeah. I want to get it out there. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm like 43 years old. So, when I look back, me in general, I know the journey is different for everyone else. I really didn't, in my youth or in my 20s, 30s, I really didn't have that type of issue. I've been fairly lucky, you know what I mean, with the women I dealt with. And even the short time, the stint I was married for 3 years, my early 20s when I was in the Army, it kind of came and it came and it went. And I just didn't understand, because that kind of was like pre-internet era. That was like 2001, 2002. So a lot of they had Tariq Nasheed's book, The Art of Macking, out probably. That was it. There was no
that book. Yeah, I read that.
And so I think you don't ever come to trying to game until there's, you evolve through pain. You evolve through, And so, with a string of different liaison relationships, dating that I had, short-lived, whatever. 2016, that was like that's what broke this, cracked my yoke open. I was just like, oh man. I won't get into too many details because I know certain people watching, but in 2016, I was in Kuwait, the Middle East, working for the U.S. government. I'm doing IT. And I don't know if you guys know, in the Middle East, you can't mess with the Arab women. You get caught doing that. The father finds out you're ramrodding their daughter, you can die. So when you're in that country, you can't mess with the natives. You got to leave those women alone. So in that type of environment, you got maybe 3 American women to every 10 American men.
Mm,
So you got desert queen syndrome out the ass. Desert queen means it's a woman who's a 5 or 6 back in her home state, but you put them out there, they're desert queen. They're like automatic overnight dime piece
right.
because
They're in full demand. Yep.
yeah, and I got, not to make a long story short, I got caught up with with another contract woman, contractor, and the manipulation, the mind head games was like, it was out of this world. And
Mm,
I know in most situations, men will be, they go red pill rage, they go, you have different levels of MGTOW. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of certain people's material on that community, but you have that, where you just like fucking hard, getting all animosity about it. Me, I just try to look at it like, how could I have played that differently? And that's when I went online. I started watching you and Lucario. I started watching, all different channels that are teaching social dynamics.
mm-hmm.
That kind of, so basically, if you want to look at it, it's a form of human evolutionary psychology. You act like this happens. She acts like this, and you do this, you get this result. And not every time. It's not like every shoe fits every size. It isn't like, there's nuances to it, but that's what got me to it. It was it was the person the woman I was involved with. She pimped me, man. She took it there, and so that's when I got in deep. I ended up later going to Afghanistan,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really different because at least in Kuwait you had a regular life, an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to Afghanistan, you're stuck on a military base. It's deer hunting season for every American, so you can't leave the base.
Okay.
And that's when I just all I could do on my off time was watch these YouTube channels, like I said before, and read books. You name the book, I probably have read it,
Right.
and I just kind of like wanted to put my own spin on it, and that's why how I with all that time on my hands out there, why I wrote Razorblade Romance.
Right. Okay. All right. That well, you see, and here's the thing, man, and here's what I appreciate about your story. Like things happen to you with females. You understand? And instead of internalizing some type of hatred for females, you took it upon yourself to be objective and to grow from the situation. You understand what I'm saying? Like you instead of blaming everything on females and this, that, and the third, you decided to ask yourself, what could I have learned from each particular situation in order to help me to become a better man, to understand game, to understand what I need to do as a man in order to make things happen. And not only that, you actually wrote a book to create a reference for other men. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the power of being able, I feel that that's the power of being able to understand that not every loss is just a loss. You understand? A lot of these quote unquote losses that we take in life are lessons. You understand? Which make us better, which make us give us more wisdom, give us more experience, and give us more knowledge at the end of it, and make us richer in character as men. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
So at a certain point, instead of being angry and all of this and resentful and regretful and hateful, it's like, nah, well, I embraced it and I used it to make me a better man. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what's important. And that's the strength in understanding why we should look to ourselves to fix these situations and not try to blame things on everyone else. You understand? And so I wanted to ask the title itself, there could be a lot of like I would say interpretations, right?
Yeah.
Because you got, for example, if you're like an incel type or a black pill type or somebody who's not all the way there, you look at Razorblade Romance, the title itself, and you might think certain things about Razorblade or you know what I'm saying? Or you might just think different things, or maybe it's about being sharp. How did you come up with the title? What does that title actually mean to you?
I thought, not the fluffy Disney romance, but I thought the opposite of that would be, something that cuts and makes you bleed. It's you're a part of, if you're intimate with women or a woman, singular, plural, whatever, there is a certain, I don't want to say danger to it, but if you're not playing by certain rules, things can just get out of control. It could bring a lot of headache and drama into your life, So
right. So you're saying that the lessons you learned were kind of sharp, and you bled from them.
Yeah, it's
As a military guy, would you say that that's like the bleeding? Is that like pain leaving the body, like going through the pain? No, excuse me, weakness leaving the body.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you could say that. You could say that. You get broken down to your last compound, as Keith Murray used to say.
Right.
You can either build back up and say, I'm not going to let this happen ever again. You know what I mean? And
right.
or I've known some people that it's like they have an amnesia. Every different week every year they're going through the same thing, and it's just like they just go blank. Like it's like they didn't learn anything. So you either take either or route.
Gotcha. Or not just weakness leaving the body, but weakness leaving the mind.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, because go ahead.
No, it was like you were saying about boxing, right? You know what I look at it as, and it's like when I was doing Taekwondo, which a lot of people think these days, oh, that's corny. But anyway, that's what I used to do.
Taekwondo is real shit. Stop playing. Taekwondo.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is as I was training, there's this dude, and we're friends now. His name David Arrington. He used to punch me and kick me in the face. And when you first get hit, it hurt. I mean, it hurts even with these pads on. You know the deal. It hurts. But I noticed the more pain you soak up, that you get used to it. It doesn't hurt it doesn't sting as much. And I think that's what ends up happening. You keep going through certain trials and tribulations, or hurtful events, disappointments, say with women or whatever reasons why it didn't. You become, I'm gonna say numb, but you just become. It's like boxing or getting punched or kicked in the face. After a while, it's like you can walk away, and it doesn't really phase you as much.
Right. Yep. You begin to you get comfortable with the discomfort. So therefore you can learn something from it instead of focusing on the pain, you begin to focus on the strategy around what it takes to avoid the pain, or what it takes to, circumvent the pain, or to also to, create strategy that you won't get hit. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's a big part about boxing. Like, I really need to get better with my head movement and just movement in general, footwork and all of that stuff, so I can stay out the way of these hits, man. I'm serious. But so what would you like? So if you had what would you want guys to really take from your book? Like, what do you want guys to learn from your book? Like what was the purpose or theme or inspiration behind writing the book that you really want guys to walk away with after they're done reading it?
As I said before, I wanted to put all the things I learned, you know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, while I was like that time where I started delving and reading, and then, and then trying to apply it with other women I was dating.
Right.
You probably know, of course you do. You have these guys, I have these younger guys, they reach out to me for advice, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, I want to say they're lost, but it's just like the same reoccurring theme. So, going from simple, what's simple social dynamic game, all the way to the more advanced level stuff. But it's always the simple. It's always the and that's why I wanted to write the book, to, like you just said, to break it down. So, you just open it up, boom, you read it. And then you have, I put scientific research that I found online behind it, so people wouldn't feel like, oh, you just making this up, man. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
Right.
you know, so if you are a science type of person and who just thinks, you know, the dating advice or the pickup community or whatever is all full of crap, then hey, universities did research on this. I mean, you know, it doesn't mean it's a blanket statement. I'm never
Right.
going to say it's a blank, because you always have the exception to the rule, the
Right.
man or the woman that's just totally strangely different. You know what I mean? So
Right. So all right. So speaking of, scientific, scientific evidence and things like that, I in the book there was a section where you talk about using certain types of soaps for
yeah.
now. I'm in the book, you even give a website, and maybe you don't want to give that away because you want people to read the book to actually get that specific information. But if you could kind of talk about, go over the information that you spoke about in the book about like using certain types of soaps and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer, and I like once again, that differing opinion amongst people in general, that we as humans, uh, like my dad used to tell me when I was growing up, he said, "All we are is smart monkeys, Mark. You know, basically, we're like a primate that's just a little bit more intelligent than the primates in the jungle.
Right.
Not to downgrade us as people, just a figure of speech.
Right.
So the animal side of us, the biology, I believe it's real. I believe in pheromones. I
Mm.
believe. I mean, how many times you walk like 6 feet away, a dime piece, you can just smell her. It's just like, man, she 5, 6 feet away from me. How did I pick
That's
up
fact.
on her scent?
That's
So I'm
fact.
like, for people to think that pheromones don't play a role,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? So I was big on that. And shout out to Scott Carr, who owns the Ground Dyke soap company.
Hmm.
Actually, the website's tacticalsoap.com.
Hmm.
And he's the only company I know right now that tries to stay true to their word, where he basically puts pheromones in soap.
Mm.
So I've been using it. I can't verbatim say it works. She was all over me because of the soap. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I feel when I wear it that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, that I don't know, like I get the smiles in the gym.
It's a different.
Yeah, it's just like, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
Aroma matters.
well, first of all the guys watching, you need to wash your ass. That's first of all. Like, no matter what kind of soap you're using, wash your ass. Like, seriously. Because I don't know if guys understand how important cleanliness is to the whole game. Like, you got to be clean, bro. You gotta be clean. Brush your teeth, wash your ass, and keep everything groomed. That's very important. You also talk about you have a whole list of like do's and don'ts for dressing and fashion and money and status and certain things. Okay, and that's a big conversation in the dating red pill, like in my community, which I like to call the game community. You understand? Looks, money, and status, or LMS, as it were, is a big, like conversation, and there are a lot of competing opinions and things like that. What is your overall opinion on looks, money, and status when it comes to dating and dealing with women?
It's that.
I mean, I know as I say, it's a big conversation, but just if you could break it down simple and
All
just
right.
give us where you stand.
I like this. Every time I thought it's the money, these women only fuck Mick Jagger because he got the money and the status. Every time I start thinking that, right?
Yeah.
I got somebody like in my circle that proves me wrong.
Mm.
The looks, money, and status. I think you're trying to say, like, do you got to have all of those to get women? Is that what you mean?
Right. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, basically, but I just want to know where you stand on it. Like, what's your opinion? Like, what do you think?
I think it is and it's not. I
Right.
think some
Okay.
some men need the status, the money. They need that to have that aura that will get women.
Hmm.
But then I've seen some Rasputin looking motherfuckers that you know what I mean? Like they defy all laws of nature. And it's just like, what? How did you, what? You know what I mean? What?
Right.
I don't understand this, you know? So I think it depends. It's not a, what do you call it? It's not a blanket thing. Like, no, it's like this. It's
Right.
like this only, you know, and I have a friend, we call him Old Dirty Bastard because he kind of, you know, he has that look. And, you know, we'll talk about that later, but, you know, I took him on a trip somewhere and it was like the women he was pulling it was crazy. And he at that time, at that point in time, he had no money. I paid for the trip because I owed him for something in the past.
Right.
And I was like, man, how are you doing this? You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I think if you are, you know what? I think Nikola Tesla said it best. You want to understand the universe, think of frequency, vibration, and frequency, vibration, and energy, right? So, you know, that type of vibrational frequency of energy that you're giving out,
right.
if you can harness that,
right,
then you don't need the status, the looks, the money, if you can harness it. But most men, I hate to say it, it's not their fault. Most people are not, they don't know how to do it. You know, I don't want to say it'll be like Star Wars, it's the Force. But most guys they come late in age sometimes when they grasp onto that energy, that frequency and vibration. But you know, I believe in it. You know what I mean? Because if you look, the way we're expressing ourselves is through vibrational vocal tone. We are vibrational creatures to begin with. So I believe in it. If you have that, if you're sex worthy, if you have that swagger about you that radiates off of you, you won't need a lot of money. You won't need a lot of status. The women are just gonna be like, "Ooh, who's that?" You know what I mean? You know, some people might disagree. I know some black pill dudes I know, like, no, you got to look like Tyson Beckford. You got to look like, you know what I mean? Like back in the day, though. You know, so you know, I really think it's who you are.
Right. No, I totally agree, man. I think looks, money, and status is important, but I think looks, money, and status is a function of who you are. You understand? Because there are some people who acquire looks, money, and status, and they're not actually connected to their looks, money, and status. You get what I'm saying? Like maybe they were born into a rich family, or they were just genetically born to be, you know, 6 feet, chiseled jaw, 6-pack abs. You understand what I'm saying? Or as far as status, like I said, they were just born or associated with a rich family. So they just kind of have a certain status about them, or through nepotism, they probably get the higher up job in the company or whatever it is. You get what I'm saying? But they don't really connect, like their personality doesn't actually connect to their looks, money, and status. You get what I'm saying? Because here's the difference, right? A guy could be born into a rich family, but if the family goes bankrupt, he's dead in the street. You understand? But there's a difference between a man who strategized with game and amassed a vast fortune through his own grind, his own strategy, his own integrity, consistency, and hard work. So he's connected to that money. You understand? Because the money is actually a product of who he is. It's not just the money's just sitting there and he's over here. It's like, yo, that money is actually a part of who I am. Like the guy who has the 6-pack, right? A woman will she'll notice the 6-pack because it's a damn 6-pack, right? But what she'll notice subconsciously, she might not even realize it, she's really admiring the fact that he's dedicated, that he has consistency, that he has, you know, he's a hard worker, like he eats right. You understand? Even when nobody's looking, he's, you know, he has a certain level of, you know, huh?
No, I was gonna say vanity, like self-love, you know.
Or exactly, self-love, and he's able. His hard work brought him to that point where he can have a 6-pack. You understand? It's not just that he's luckily born into a dope genetic gene pool where he just has a 6-pack and he has no idea how he got it, and he eats fried chicken all the fucking time. Like, you get what I'm saying? He's actually connected to the hard work that got him to that physique. You feel me? So whether the chick even knows it or not, that's what she's actually attracted to. She's attracted to his hard work that he put in and his consistency. You get what I'm saying? But that's where I like. that's what I like to believe about looks, money, and status, where I believe that there are some people who they have looks, money, and status, but they're not actually connected to it. And those are the people that can lose everything because they don't really have a personal connection to the looks, money, and status. You understand? But then you have another person, he's genetically, he might be ugly, but he's connected to a certain energy, like you said, a certain vibration that makes him attractive because he just loves who he is. He's a positive person. He smiles a lot. He's very sociable. He can connect to people, charismatic, so on and so forth.
Wow.
And that can, to me, that can actually overpower quote unquote looks. You understand? Because it can make him, people looking at him, they'll see one thing, but talking to him and interacting with him, they can feel something entirely different. You get what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
And I got fellas and, guys in my friends group who I look at them and I'm like, yo, this dude, how do you get so many chicks, bro? But they just have that knack, that gift of gab, that charisma. Like they when you talk to them, they even make you laugh. You understand? Like they just have that thing about them, and you get to understand that it's far beyond just the cosmetic, surface level shit. It has a lot to do with, like you said, their vibration and who they are as people. So you also talked about let me see. You said seduction is like real estate, location. You want to expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, for instance, in a situation where you might be on a date, and if you will, like, say you and the woman live in two different separate locations, right?
Right.
And say afterwards with the woman, I was like, hey, let's go to my place. And now it's a whole freaking National Lampoon adventure just to get back. Yeah. The time I got there, she wasn't even in the mood anymore. Right. She was just like, okay.
Yeah, logistics.
So I mean, I believe you got to strike the iron while it's hot. So if logistics does matter. And also I just also touched on if you live in Hooterville, okay, if you live in West Bumbaland, as the Jamaicans say, then move. Then move. If you in an area where they don't have the type of women that you're looking for, right. And you're in the boondocks, the boonies, we're not trees, as we already know. We're not trees. Then there's no excuse. Even if it takes you a whole year or 2 years to save up enough to try to relocate somewhere else, you got to leave. How many areas I left, I had gotten away from in the past because I was just like, I wasn't feeling it. I just was like, you know what I mean? This is not my scene here with these chicks.
Right.
So or that could also touch the subject of logistics of sometimes you got to go on a vacation, go somewhere else. You can't court them, then go somewhere in your own place and go somewhere else. Right. Why? If you're going through a drought in the US, go to the Dominican Republic, go somewhere else. You know what I mean? For a vacation or something,
So let me ask you, because I kind of have my own opinions on that too. So are you talking about pay for play, or are you talking about just like organically going to another place to like organically find connections? Like which one? Because that's two different things. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not even gonna front. That is going to be very hard to do, because if you go to Dominican Republic, you go to Colombia or certain areas, there's such a there's unfortunately, because their country's financially going through hardships.
Second world, third world countries. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the most of the really good looking women, even if they take a liking toward you, I'm not saying do this, but I'm saying from what I know, even if they take a liking toward you, at the end of the whole weekend, that there probably are going to, not all, they're going to expect you to throw some Skrilla on the table. I'm being honest, but that's because of where they are. You know what I mean? Right. But I've also heard stories, and I never experienced it, but I've also heard stories where, a man did meet a real cool woman from a good family, what was it, Brazil? And she wasn't selling no tail. She was. Are you
talking about the Brazilian American guy with the YouTube channel, and him and his wife do YouTube videos?
Oh yeah. I think you seen that too.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, O'Shea Duke Jackson kind of introduced me to that. As far as looking at one of his videos, and he had an interview with him talking about that. And it's funny because he actually met his Brazilian wife in the United States.
Wow.
You understand?
Okay.
So yeah, so that was a whole thing. And I mean, again, like I don't really try to knock anybody for doing what they do.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is to be honest. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because you have guys who go to these countries and all they do is pay for play, but then they say, oh, the women over there are submissive, or the women over there treat me like I'm the prize. And what I'm trying to say is that, brother, you're paying for anything you experience over there. It's you've tainted it because you're paying for it. And I understand what you're talking about. I do, because I come from Jamaica. I was born in the West Indies. Well, I understand what it means when you say, like, you meet a chick, you have a great time, and it's genuine. You understand? Yeah. But then at the end of the joint, it's like, here, go buy your mama some medicine, because these are third world countries. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like, it is what it is, so it's not the same as, because it's different when, and I've done all of them. I'll be honest, and I've done it all. I've had the genuine connections where I didn't give up a 1 cent except for, me, paying for the activities that we did. Like, I paid for dinner or whatever. And I've had the situation where I did the pay for play. And I've had the situations where it's like, oh, I meet a girl, we spend a lot of time. And then I'm like, look, take this and, treat yourself nice or do something nice. And that money came at the end where it's like, look, like a parting gift thing, where it wasn't like I'm paying you for sex. Like, no, we're having sex. Like, it's going to happen because it's going to happen. But it's like, I know what type of situation you're in. I know this, I know that. So, and I'm from Jamaica myself. I have family that shit. If I go see my uncle, I have to leave some fucking money on the table. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I understand all the different dynamics of that. But all I'm saying is some guys lie to themselves about the pay for play. You understand? If you know you're paying for play, don't sit there and tell me, yo, when I go to this country, I'm the prize, bro. Yeah, you are the prize. You're the jackpot prize, dude. You feel me? Like, get out of here, man.
You got it. Yeah, you're right. They got to be honest and be like, hey, you're purchasing. If you want to be nice about the girlfriend experience, because the money's up front. So of course, you can't say that's attraction. It's a business. Yeah, I agree.
And that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is be honest. You can do whatever you want to do. I don't really knock nobody for doing, because look, I know these women out here in the Western world can be frustrating, bro. I know. Trust me, I know. You get me? So if it's like, look, I'm getting older, I ain't trying to waste no time. I really just want to go experience what it feels like to be with a chick. I don't care how I have to do it. Do you? I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, but keep in mind what you're really doing. Don't lie to yourself. You understand? Don't dilute yourself and try to act like, oh, that this chick actually likes you. And, you got these guys trying to marry these chicks and do all of this stuff. And it's like, bro, stop.
I know one of those dudes. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
And it's crazy.
Because when you start lying to yourself, it can become a slippery slope, and then it gets dangerous. You see what I'm saying? And then and what makes it even worse is when the female knows that you're lying to yourself. You understand? Because once she knows that you're lying to yourself, then it's like you're losing from that point on, because then she knows that she could take advantage of you as well.
Yeah. They start. There's I won't get into too much detail about it, but this dude I know, it's a trust fund baby guy, right? So he has the money to hang out in these Latin American countries for as long as he wants. Trust fund guy, right? And every month he's in love with a different prostitute, and I have to explain to him, primo, hello, I told you this is an arrangement. This girl does not like you. Why are you upset? Why are you upset? Why she's a you know what I mean? So there's like they lie to themselves, just like you said, and it's disturbing because it's like only crackheads should be in a state of denial. Right. You know what I mean? So yeah.
All right. Crackheads and alcoholics, like man. All right. So let me see. Oh, see, and that's what I'm saying about the book. It's so many cool little, nuggets and gems. Like, you got something that says, don't think, just approach. Like, when I read that, I was like, see what I'm saying? This dude, like, honestly, I felt like, you're literally a dude from my own heart. You understand what I'm saying? I'm reading this book. I'm like, yo, come on, this is some fire game. But if you want to expound on that just a little bit, you know what I'm saying, for the viewers.
Oh yeah, yeah. This, you know, because we as humans, I think, you know, if you want to, we don't really know, let's be honest, how many millions or whatever years of evolution, but there is that fight or flight instinct in us.
Facts.
And I realized that's one of the biggest key things. I guess when you get older, you realize you got to do what the samurais in Japan, the samurai practice mushin. And so when they fought, it was mushin. Mushin means no mind. They thoughts blank out. You know, they're just in the moment. They're not thinking. You know, their movement. And I realized in those situations, I just try to do the mushin. I just blank out. I approach. Because as soon as you know the deal, as soon as you wait and you start going in your head, you start playing out scenarios. What if she says this? I say that, or I'll do this and she says that. And it's like, I say to myself back in the day, I was like, man, you ain't no damn clairvoyant. You don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know.
Facts. So I tell other guys that too. Just go. Just go. It's like jumping out of a skydiving. You don't think about it. You just got to do it. Otherwise, at the end, you talk your way out of it. You talk yourself out of it, you know?
You know what I hate? And I've done this before. You know, them times when you start talking your way, or you come up with a reason to, like, not talk to her, but you say, all right, I'm gonna go do this, and then I'm gonna holler at her. And then you turn around and she's gone. I hate that. She like sometimes I'll be in the park and I'll see a chick on the first go around, and I'll be like, yo, when I come around again, I'm gonna say something to her. By the time I come around on the second go around, she's gone. I'm like, see, I should have hollered at as soon as I saw it.
And you hit the hammer right on the nail. That's what every man should tell himself right then. Do you realize if you do not approach her now, you may never see this woman ever again. You may not cross paths with her ever again. So that's also what pushes. Like, you got to do it now. It ain't gonna. There might not be another day to bump into this woman. So if you really are attracted, you got to do it. You know.
Gotta do it. Just do it. I do this. I tell guys, you know, guys that I coach, I tell them to just act like it's a bomb or something, and just count down. Like, don't think about anything else but the countdown. And as you start to count, just start walking. You understand? So you just get 5, 4, and you just start walking. 3, 2, and by the time you hit 1, you're supposed to be standing right in front of her. You understand? And then just say whatever the hell comes to your mind, because it really doesn't matter. You understand? It really doesn't matter. A lot of guys don't know that, but it really don't matter.
Put too much value on what people think. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Who cares? Who cares if the woman doesn't like you or doesn't feel the vibe? Then fuck it. You know, who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got one other thing that I wanted to, you know, like I said, just trying to highlight the book, make sure guys know what, you know, a thorough piece of work this is. But another thing that I saw in there that I thought that was really cool is you had a section in there talking about painting a picture of desire with your words. If you wanted to expound on that a little bit too.
Yeah, I think the honest truth is, after a while, you know, not to say it's all been said, but it's if you can be a lyricist, not like in the sense of a rapper, but I always thought if you can be a lyricist, I noticed when I took extra careful care to you know, the nuances of what I'm saying in the sentences, because everything you say usually, not all the time, runs through the woman's head visually.
Right.
You know, paint a picture of desire, you know, that probably you have a better chance of hooking that woman in. You know what I mean? Whether if you're just some bland, mundane, flavorless words, you know, I get it. Some guys get away with it. Some guys are just like, I've tried it. I can't do it. I have to get animated with it, you know. But I know some men get away with it. It's like, you know.
they just and the chick
responds. And the woman's like, you know, I get it. But yeah, to take extra care, you know, and like I said, to be a lyricist, to really craft your words, craft the communication, and also understand you got to do it in person. You got to do it in person.
Exactly.
I hate this shit. There's so many guys going to take this part and go, okay, and they're on Tinder.
Right.
No. I mean, you can do that too, but no, I'm talking about I'm talking about face to face, and
Right.
that's when it goes down. When it's face to face, looking in the woman's eyes,
Right.
and you're spitting it, or as they would do or die would say, spitting that game in the player, like spitting that game in the ear like the players do.
Right.
Just that energy, that frequency, just
Right.
descriptive words. Yeah, that's what it's about.
Let me ask you, with that being said, what do you think about FaceTiming chicks these days?
Oh, before you meet them, or
Yeah. No, in general, but yeah, before you actually meet them in person, what do you think about the FaceTiming? Because that's become sort of a thing these days because of COVID and blah blah blah. You understand? So, what do you think about that in general?
I think this should have happened a long fucking time ago. Like I can't even believe. Look, I can't even believe that we're still doing picture gallery contest apps and picture shows on websites, dating sites. Why? We
Right.
have video and nobody wants to use it. I swear to God, the majority of men and women, they oh no, I don't want to do the camera. Why?
Right.
You can find out right then and there if you guys have a vibe together.
Facts.
You can't vibe with a photo. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then if you text too much, you run into the danger of lost in translation.
Misinterpretation.
All of a sudden,
exactly.
yeah, you say something, she takes it the wrong way, and now it's all fucked up. Yeah.
Facts. No, yo, shout out to my man, Fresh Prince, CEO of the Fresh and Fit podcast. So his whole, because he's like a social media like genius, right? And he has a pretty extraordinary life where he's always in some dope ass high rise in Miami, or he's you know this guy, right? Yeah, and he has like a, in the high rise, they got the pool, or he's out on a boat, or he's like, he got friends who have businesses where they, they rent and do different things with boats and boat parties and Lamborghinis. And like the other day, he was hanging out with Nori on Drink Champs and all of this different stuff. So he lives a pretty interesting life. So he uses the Instagram situation to kind of source a lot of his, females. You understand? A lot of the females that he interacts with. But he always says that the FaceTiming is the thing that he uses to vet the situation, where he sets the sexual vibe and everything during the FaceTime. Wow. So, and he was saying that his close rate is like 75 to 90%. You understand? Because he sets the vibe on the FaceTime. So she basically knows that, look, once the FaceTime is over and you decide to come see me, sex is going down. You understand? So if they actually make it to his crib, it's like, well, the sex is going to go down. So he doesn't really, like you said, like he's able to set the vibe, set the tone, and do a lot of, cool things with the whole FaceTime stuff. And
there's no awkward shit then, because then you see it. You see if she's using old photos and she's way heavier than she looking like a Snickers bar away from being a fat chick. You see it right there. She sees you. And I don't know that to make just end that on this is that should be all the time. That should be mandatory. A matter of fact,
mandatory.
Yeah, you shouldn't even entertain it. You shouldn't do blind dates. Meet somebody you don't even see face to face. We're in the future, and we still pretending it's the it's the 80s and stuff. I don't understand it.
Facts. Now I'm with you, man. I've had a couple of FaceTime dates, and all of them have been pretty successful. Because I get the flirting and the stuff down. The charm is easier. When you get to see them, everything you say, you get to see how they respond to it. You understand? You can take her words and flip it back on her based on certain things. Because, for example, like when a person is talking about certain things, you see their body language change when they're talking about certain things. Right. So, for example, if you ask a woman about her family and she starts to have a little, well, my mom and my dad, I don't know, and blah, blah, blah. But then when she talks about chocolate cake, she's like, chocolate cake is the best because. So it's like you can see that, you can pick up on that, and you can use that to your advantage. You understand? Because the thing is, and shout out to Rosebud. That guy. You see my thumb is right there.
Oh, Rosebud.
His chin, Rosebud.
What is it? Bitter. Is it Rosebud?
Rosebud bitter dose. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he's on our Game Kings documentary, and shout out to him because he mentioned that your your verbal game should be like an arsenal. You understand?
Oh, yeah, you're so
You should
right.
use it as an arsenal to, like, to subdue the chick, basically. And what I like to tell guys is that the beautiful part about, being a lyricist, as you say, is trying to connect to the five senses. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you say, hey, I'd like to take you out Friday night, and then she says something like, well, so what are we going to do Friday night? Right. You can use that and describe the scenario, but don't just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take you to this bar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to, like I said, think about her five senses. Think about what she might smell, what she might see, what she might taste. You understand? Like, look, at this bar that I go to, I have a mixology friend. He's not just a bartender; he's a mixologist, right? He takes his time and he mixes the drinks, and then he muddles the mint leaves. And when you taste this drink, it's gonna just dance on your taste buds and make you feel like a totally different person. And that's different from telling her, oh yeah, I'm gonna take you to a bar. You see what I'm saying? Because when I tell her that my friend is a mixologist and a this and a that, and I'm putting all these details, she's visualizing and she's thinking about how it's gonna taste. She's thinking about how it's gonna feel. She's thinking about how it's gonna the experience of seeing this guy mix the drinks and muddle the mint leaves and do all of this crazy stuff. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, exactly.
What you're saying about being a lyricist is very, very heavy stuff, man. It's very, very heavy stuff, because a lot of guys forget, in their quest for vagina, they forget that women have senses. You understand? They forget, in order for you to get in, you trying to physically get in touch with a woman's body, but a woman's body has different avenues for you to get to it, and it has at least five at all times. You understand? The five senses, with taste, touch, smell, hearing, and seeing, right? Five senses. Those are five, because you know how they say, the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That's how they tell women to get to us, right?
Yeah.
They tell to know how to cook for us and so on. Well, there's at least five ways for you to get to any female. You understand? Especially, like I said, you're having a conversation. She's asking you about things. She's asking you about what the experience will be like with you. If I choose to go out with you, if I choose to hang out with you, what will it be like? And some dudes are just gonna be like, well, I'm gonna just, we go Netflix and chill. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, bro, like, you got to put just a little bit more. You feel me? So that's very, very heavy stuff. But I think we covered a lot of stuff here today. Is there anything else you want to, talk about, something we didn't touch that you really want to touch on before we get going?
Yeah. I just wanted to add one last thing to what you were saying. Is so basically forgetting that the biggest the book, The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, he had an interesting passage in one of his chapters, and he said, people live such boring lives. You might think everyone's living exciting, and the frustrations and the obligation of life, responsibilities. They don't live this party on a So when the woman is with you, what I've learned, when you're out with a beautiful woman that just tantalizes your senses, you want to give that to her. You want, when she's with you, you know what I mean? It's like like you said, you're using your words to animate the scene, to take her with this ambiance. Don't be, like you said, the boring dude.
Right.
Don't be, people live these mundane lives. So to be the pimp star, if you want to say, then you need, just like you said, you gotta have that vibe. You gotta have the lyrics. You gotta make it worth that person's while, the woman's while, to come hang out with you. You know
gotta
what I mean?
Paint a picture of desire with your words, like you said. That's what you said. Yeah. All right. So let's see that book again, man. Show everybody the book again real quick.
Yeah.
And I am going to, let me see. Let me get these links. All right, so that's the Razorblade Romance, and y'all could go to Amazon and get the book, man. Y'all could go to Amazon and get the book, and y'all could also go to RazorbladeRomance.com. I'm gonna put that in the chat real quick. Give me 1 second. Put it in the chat for y'all. Boom. that's the website that you could go to real quick. And then I'm gonna also give you guys the Amazon link so y'all could go cop the book right now.
Yeah, and it's cheap. People, it is. I'm not Coach Corey Wayne. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean?
Right,
I
right.
know because some people do. They put a lot into it. They feel their book is $30, $40. That's cool. But I'm saying I try to keep the price down as much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And don't be fooled by it. Don't be fooled by the price neither. It's a very thorough book, man. It's a very thorough book. I wanna again point out the fact that in every section, at the end of every section that that you discuss, you have a part of using breakdown and analysis where you show the differences in scenarios with different dialogues. Like and a lot of times you'll use two different guys. Right. And you'll use a guy that has a certain level of confidence, and then you use another guy that has another certain level of confidence, and you'll show how the scenario breaks out, how the scenario, plays out with each dude. And that's very important. You understand? That's very important because, again, we tell guys here all the time, like dealing with women is not about dealing with women. You understand? Dealing with women has everything to do with yourself and what you desire, what you want, how you want to get it. And that's where game comes in, right? Because we have to use strategy based on who we are in order to get what we want. And that's just how it goes. Yeah. That's literally just how it goes. Like anybody who plays chess, you understand that every piece has different abilities and moves in certain ways. And that explains each person. You understand? So it's up to you to choose how you're going to move, so you could get what you got to get. But my man, Dutch, he got his book, man. Please support this brother. It's a very thorough book. Check it out. Go to his website, go to his Amazon link, and go to his YouTube channel. Talk about your YouTube channel real quick.
Oh yeah. Travel and Bang. This is where I rebranded it. It was out before under another name when I came back from Afghanistan. Because out there I couldn't put the camera up and stuff like that. But now that I'm back, I created Travel and Bang. I'm putting a lot of energy into, just giving the scenarios like my book, but also sharing my travels in different countries. Just check it out. Travel and Bang. Show me some love. Subscribe.
All right, man. Go subscribe to his channel right now, guys. Man, Dutch, I really appreciate you hanging out with me. I really appreciate you giving me the chance and opportunity to check out your book and to review it, discuss it with you. This is good content for all the fellas, and I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, man. So, all right, guys, that's it. We're about to get out of here. Again, go check out RazorBladeRomance.com. Go to the Amazon link, check out the book, and then check out the YouTube channel, Travel and Bang. It's your boy, Miles Cunningham, here with Dutch for Razorblade Romance. And as always, guys, the truth is inside you. Peace.